work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
No, you were kind of convinced, as was everybody else, that, and it may still happen this way, that LeBron's buddy J.J. Redick was going to be the next head coach of the Lakers. However, a Woj bomb dropped this morning, and maybe they're headed in a different direction. Good morning to you, and a Merry Thursday. Welcome to the opening day of the NBA Finals. Something you thought maybe would never get here. You knew it would get here. It just took a minute. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you living?
Well, what'd it do?
What'd you think when you heard this headline this morning? Kind of a wow moment?
It was a wow moment.
So the wow moment this morning, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, who is kind of never wrong. Now, he's not reporting the Lakers have signed or this coach has agreed to be the head coach of the Lakers. But Woj is reporting the Lakers are preparing a what he's calling a massive long-term deal to get Dan Hurley, UConn's men's basketball coach, to Los Angeles to be the next coach of the Lakers. And evidently they've had preliminary contact with him. They're planning to escalate these discussions over the next couple of days. Hurley's talked in the past about thinking about the NBA. And evidently, he's been at the forefront of the Lakers search from the beginning of the process, even while they've been talking to all these other people. And the names out front have been James Borrego and certainly J.J. Redick, and there's been some Sam Cassell out there and other names. He's 51 years old, and he's got the best program in college basketball right now. We've seen guys go to the NBA. Some work, most don't. This is an interesting one, man. This is a big swing by the Lakers. When you think about it, I don't think it should surprise anybody. I just think it kind of comes a little bit out of left field.
It does come out of left field, but when the process has gone on this long, it's easy to assume that you're just waiting on J.J. Redick, but that can also open up other doors. And then for Dan Hurley, you've done something that puts you in an elite class. Anytime you win back-to-back championships in anything, it's amazing. And then especially like college basketball is constructed right now, it's going to vault him towards the top of the list of just amazing runs, amazing coaching stays. And this is a very intriguing opportunity. Go get maybe 2 years of LeBron, see what happens moving forward with Anthony Davis, and a chance to coach a historic franchise in the Los Angeles Lakers.
You bring up LeBron, and you would assume LeBron would sign off on this, right? I can't think the Lakers make the move without including LeBron. I don't know why he wouldn't, other than in familiarity and not hiring his guy, right? And maybe this is what LeBron says, all right, fine, I'm out. I'm not playing for a college coach. I don't know. I don't know how this would go. I would assume, to your point, JJ, that he would look at this and say, man, we're bringing in a guy who's just won, as you said, 2 championships at the elite level in college basketball. And especially in this atmosphere, and look at the players that they put into the league, and this guy's got a ton of respect. Now, this is a different coach. Give me the last college coach who made the transition and made it well.
Brad Stevens.
Okay. He didn't win. He did win a championship, did he? Right? He did not, and then he went to the front office. Okay. Brad Stevens went from Butler to the Celtics. Okay. Calipari tried it. Pitino tried it. Both went back to college. There's been others. You got another one? Because I'm struggling a little bit.
Florida coach.
Billy Donovan. No, that's actually really good, and he's still in the league. Yeah. He's with the Bulls. He was with Oklahoma City. Billy Donovan has been able to stick. Not many do. And you know, when a guy does it, you say, well, this guy's good. I mean, he's at the top of his game. Well, that's why guys get the opportunity. Look, Mike Krzyzewski had the opportunity years ago. Lakers went after Mike Krzyzewski 20 years ago. They tried to hire him. They offered him a record-breaking contract back in 2004, 20 years ago. He chose to remain at Duke. It's a different world in college basketball now, right? NIL. You got to fundraise. You got to re-recruit your roster every year. Do you want to do that? Is this the time? I mean, would this be the time for Dan Hurley if, in fact, he wants to be in the NBA? And, like, everybody's got a number, man.
The answer to that question is yes. It's different
I think
when
you're right.
The Detroit Pistons or Memphis Grizzlies are coming after you, but when it's the Los Angeles Lakers, you've won 2 national titles, 51 years old, you can go coach the Lakers for 4 years and they can get tired of you, and then you can go get the best available job in college.
Or you can stick and make this thing
Or
work
he
and
gets
become a
an
great NBA coach. Right? I mean, you don't go into it. I don't know, a lot of people get married to get divorced, but, you know.
In sports, you are. In coaching.
Well, but you think you're the guy who's going to make it.
You're going to be that guy in 5 years from now. You're not.
Yeah, you do. And there's a few, right? You think you're going to be the Mike Krzyzewski, or I'm sorry, Mike Krzyzewski, the Greg Popovich, or Steve Kerr's been there a minute, right? I mean, there's a few that do last, right? Michael Malone's been how many years with the Nuggets? 12, right? I mean, there are a few that make it. To your point, the majority of coaches are gone within, I don't know, 1.5 to 3.5 years. I agree with you. And they get paid to go away. Or if you're Doc Rivers, you get paid to get your next job, and you try to wear that shirt you're wearing and have say, yeah, I coached
9 years for Michael Malone.
Is it 9 years?
Which is so
Still
crazy
feels
long.
like ever. Yeah. I mean, to wear that shirt you're wearing, I coached for every damn team in this league. I coached every single team.
Yeah, but once it's for Hurley too. Like once he gets in and if he shows some success, then he can make a move in the NBA, go back to college, ton of options.
Do whatever the hell he wants. If he's successful at the NBA level, look, Bill Jackson was with the Lakers for quite a run. I know what their reputation is. I know what their history has been. I think we all do since Phil Jackson retired. They've gone through coaches like you go through your draws. And it's been good for nobody, although they did win one championship. They did. Frank Vogel was the head coach. I think you go into this, everybody who takes a job figures, yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be really good at it and I'm going to be there for a while. But with the reality of knowing, man, I know what I'm getting into. But if they're going to give him, and according to Wojnarowski, a massive long-term deal, JJ, the security's there. Worst case scenario, all right, it doesn't work in 2 years. LeBron's gone, and they got to pay me out the rest of this massive long-term deal, and I'll go coach college. Because to your point, I can get whatever college job I want. I'll go back to UConn. They'll fire the guy who just won another national championship to get me back. I'll go to Duke. I'll go to Carolina. I'll go to Kansas. I'll go wherever I want to go. I think this is the one where, all right, and by the way, I'm going into the league, and I'm going to start, and I'm going to have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, right, to get started. And then you sit down with Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, and you say, okay, here's what I see on your roster. Here's what we need. We need a point guard, or we need a shooter. Or how can we get this? How can we make this happen? And they're going to figure out a way to make this guy happy. If this is who they want. What do you think of it from a tactical point, from a basketball side at the pro level? Do you think there's any risk of a college coach? Because the track records show you the majority of them don't make it, although some do, right? And if you look at it and say, well, he's better than Billy Donovan. I mean, I don't know if he is or not. Better than Brad Stevens. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. He's the hottest one right now.
For Hurley, it's going to be personality.
That's
what it comes down to in the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, this seems like an intense, and maybe that's what LeBron wants or needs.
Because Billy Donovan won back-to-back championships.
That's right.
In college.
That's right. At Florida.
So he would be the comp.
I think it's a great comp. Yeah, Billy Donovan was a little younger when he went to the NBA, right? I think Billy Donovan's in his upper 50s now. I think. Look, as I sit here a million miles away from the scene, you're going to say JJ Redick, who's never, and this whole never coached thing doesn't bother me. Let me get over that. You know who never coached before he took over? Steve Kerr. How's he done? Is he done? Well, what? You shake your head a little bit. What? Tell me why that's not a good comp on JJ Redick.
Well, it's. I think why I'm fine. It's because you're walking with LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
Yeah, and he walked into Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
Steve Kerr walked into Detroit Pistons. He ain't the head coach of the Detroit Pistons.
Well, neither is Phil Jackson. Right? Neither is Red Auerbach. I mean, none of those guys. Pat Riley. It's amazing how great coaches had great players, isn't it? It's amazing how Pat Riley had Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And to your point, it wasn't the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, so that's your big story this morning. Lakers are pursuing. I don't know anywhere that I see that it's close. And we've heard nothing coming out of the UConn side or Dan Hurley's side. But the Lakers, evidently, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, are preparing a massive long-term offer to Dan Hurley, the UConn coach, to be the next coach of the Lakers. Laker fan, I know you're there. 505-246-0610. David said Brad Stevens did not, in OT Capital, win a championship in the NBA with the Celtics. They won one title since 1986. He wasn't the coach. Hopefully that will continue, known Celtic hater. Yeah, we corrected that, right? I asked you, did he win? You said no. I don't think we got that wrong. But yeah, no, he did not. All right, so if you want to get in, 505-246-0610. That is the Sports Animal phone line. It is our text line as well. Emails, Jeff@sportsanimалabq.com, JJ@sportsanimалabq.com. NBA Finals start tonight. It'll be in Massachusetts. Celtics, Mavericks, we'll go through that. Who's in, who's not, spreads, all of those things. Global basketball. Were you out there yesterday? You got a good peek yesterday?
Yes, I was.
They're bigger. I want your thoughts on that. And then we'll get Richard Pitino's thoughts at 9 o'clock. The Global men's basketball coach scheduled to be with us live at 9 o'clock this morning as summer workouts are underway. You had a great showdown of baseball between the young star and the guy who's considered the best player in the game. You got a college football playoff schedule. I know you love schedules. Football camps are open. There's a ton going on. And more off the court WNBA news that'll somewhat interest you. But when we come back, he's a national champion. He fell during the race, got knocked down, and is still a Lobo and a national champion. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And
Lobo Habtum Samuel is a national champion. National champion in the 10,000 meters, and he fell during the race in Eugene yesterday. There was 10,000 meters is a lot of times around the track. 10,000 divided by 400 is 25 laps. 25 laps. So in the second to last lap, there was a collision, and he got caught up in it, and he went down. He said he hurt his leg, but he was able to crawl back into the race, and he wins the NCAA championship, the outdoor championships, with a personal best 28 minutes, 7.82 seconds at Hayward Field in Eugene. The Lobo he's got more races this week, but he's a winner. He's the national champion. That's crazy. I don't know if you saw it. He'll have the 5,000 meters on Friday. It's tomorrow. But watch it. Did you see the highlights of the race? It was
intense.
Yes. Dude goes down and still gets up and wins it. All right, 505-246-0610. Travis, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Travis?
Good morning, fella.
What's going on?
Listen, it's an exciting day. Friday Eve. I'm excited. I will say I want to get in on the Lakers news or the Lakers rumors. There's always some rumors coming out about the Lakers, of course. But I got to say, watching the media coming out about the Lobos, the start of the summer practices, man, I'm just going to dub them right now the Showtime Lobos.
All right.
They're big. Donnie's going to be throwing Lob City around. I mean, it's going to be. They're going to play fast. It's going to be exciting to watch. And this is not going to be a team that's going to get bullied like they did against Clemson. So hats off to Coach Pitino for really, getting this team to where it needed to get to, and improving a lot of the deficiencies that we saw at the end of the season. But on Dan Hurley, look, I think right now, I don't know that there has ever been a time in college basketball where it actually looked more like the NBA. If you think about everything that's going on with NIL money, I mean, all of these players are basically, unrestricted free agents anyways. And I think for that reason, college coaches right now are probably in a better position to, move to the NBA than they've ever been in the history of either sport. And then also, I think the style of play looks a lot like the NBA as well. I mean, there's going to be a lot of high pick and rolls. That's a lot of what college basketball teams are moving to. Certainly the Lobos last year had a ton of success with the high pick and roll, putting Donnie in the pick and roll. And so I think for that reason, it's going to be easier for Dan Hurley to translate his style of coaching and kind of the things that he has to do on a daily basis to the NBA, because he's used to the movement that happens in the NBA and the action, the style of play. Now, that fiery style that he has where he's, screaming at players and screaming at refs and, that kind of that boisterous kind of style that I think you can probably have as a college coach, I don't know that translates to the NBA. I don't see a lot of Spoelstra, screaming at $100 million athletes. So I don't know that part of it, the temperament part of it, is going to translate. But I think he's probably better positioned than Brad Stevens or Billy Donovan were, simply because of what the landscape of college basketball looks like and how it so closely looks like what the NBA landscape looks like. Anyway, you guys have a great week. Take care.
All right. No, it's good. You agree with that? The college basketball looks more like the NBA now than it ever did, and hence he might be as prepared as any college coach to make that jump.
I think with dealing with personalities, but there's also actually more roster stability
in the NBA
because they actually have contracts as opposed to year to year.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, literally is crazy when you think about that. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Rudy.
Hello. Well, that was pretty interesting last night watching Hapton Samuel in the 10,000 meters. I used to do half marathons in my younger days, and ran a lot of 10Ks to prepare for that. And that is a really tough distance. And I've actually seen that scene before because I was at the Olympics when Zola Budd tripped Mary Dicker Slaney and ruined her plans for a gold medal. Happened right in front of me. I still have the picture of it.
Wow.
And the most amazing thing is, usually when that happens, you're done. You're done because you're so focused on your run. And I don't know how he avoided getting really injured, but somehow he made it through. And if you watch it, it's just unbelievable. And then for him to be in third place and just blow the competition away was something else. And this kid's a freshman.
Yep.
He's 20 years old.
Yep, you better find some NIL money for him. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Another national championship for the University of New Mexico. I'm totally psyched.
Yeah.
And then if you really want to get excited, go to the Lobo football page and see who they just signed.
Yeah, we got to get there,
Did
too.
you go through that list,
Yeah,
Jeff?
I did. And I see a lot of impressive places. And I actually, in this case, you see a lot of guys who played last year, and which I think gives you some really good, I don't know, experience and something to be fired up about. But yeah, Lobo's got 13 new transfers that they've announced, and 7 of them came from power places. I mean, you got Auburn and Texas Tech and TCU and Houston and Washington State and Nebraska. So yeah, I did look through it, and I want to get there. Yeah.
And these guys weren't just sitting on the
that's my point.
bench.
That's kind of my point. Yeah.
Garrison Walker comes from a family of NFL players, and we haven't had a defensive lineman like Garrison Walker here.
I hope so.
I don't know if ever.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is legit. And when you see how they loaded up on defense, this was my concern. But why I have great faith in Bronco Mendenhall is, and you sat down and talked to him, the guy has a plan. He's not just signing kids because they played at these places. He's signing them because they fill a need and they have a special set of skills, and he trusts them to come in and do exactly what he's doing with everybody. Earn not given is more than just a catchphrase. Yep. And then the final thing is, I'm who can't not be excited about what Richard Pitino's doing. He went out and said, I am not going to get shoved around anymore. I'm not going to have Dagenhart or any big guard really destroy us or point forward, whatever they call them these days, But I'm really excited about the future of Lobo athletics right now.
That's good.
You get a national championship, you get some depth on defense, and you have a Lobo men's basketball team that looks like it's poised to maybe make another Mountain West Conference championship run.
Could be a good time, Rudy. It's good hearing you, and enjoy the rest of the week. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you too.
JJ, he talks about some of these transfers, and like he talked, Garrison Walker came up from Auburn. He played 4 games last year and had 4 tackles, but 6'1", 296 on the line. So you've got some bulk. You know where I am on this. It's always so tough for me to get excited about just a list of names. This particular list of names, I look around and you've got guys who did play a little bit, not a ton. I mean, I'm not telling you got all conference guys coming over from Auburn. That's not what I'm telling you. But guys who played a little bit at Pitt and wherever they were, guys who bounced around a bit too now, right? I mean, you got Dom Tatum, who is coming from Washington State, was at Utah State.
It's opportunity.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at the kid from Pitt, played 11 of 23 games on special teams.
Right.
And so you bring in Javante Royal in, hope to be more than just a special teams gunner, because you need players in the secondary. So it's an opportunity.
Badly.
And it's why these players are coming to the University of Mexico, and a lot of these guys only have 1 season left. Because they're looking for that chance to break in to a starting lineup. And you just have to wait and see.
I know.
Like with any of this stuff, it's so hard because there was dudes, we did the same thing with last year. Oh, they're transferred from TCU, Nebraska, and never got in the field.
I 100%. The guy from Alabama State was the biggest star you had in your team. A guy that we didn't talk about until we went out there. You and I were like, who's that number 5 dude? Right? But, I mean, we talked about the Henry running back, right, who's still on the team. Henry, who transferred from, I want to say, Louisiana Monroe, and was going to be their big running back. And then these kids from Alabama State were the ones who made the difference. So until they get out there. But, yeah, this appears to be a good run of recruits that came into the University of New Mexico for football after spring practice. All right, when we come back, Richard Pitino is going to be with us at 9. JJ, I want you to get in a little bit of what you saw. Richard had a lot of things to say about getting bigger, and he had a lot of things to say yesterday in his press conference. But I want your impressions of what you saw. Talks about Jovan being able to play the 1, 2, 3. I mean, you're going to be bigger on the perimeter, certainly bigger inside. So JJ's impressions from what he saw first day at summer practice for Lobo basketball. 505-246-0610 is how you can get in today on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Concrete doesn't have to be gray or dull. JPR Supply.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
All right, big story this morning. If you're just getting up, the Lakers are targeting Dan Hurley as their head coach. The UConn men's basketball coach, Adrian Wojnarowski, broke the story this morning, said they're prepared to offer him a massive long-term deal. He said from day one of this Lakers search, it's been Dan Hurley. Kind of crazy. If that, in fact, is true. And Woj, JJ, so often is dead ass on. How is his name not served? Like, how's it all been about? Is it just lazy? It's just been obvious that it's JJ Redick because LeBron and him are boys. Then how does James Borrego's name get thrown into that? And Sam Cassell and
because all those guys have interviewed.
Yeah, but if they've been focused on Dan Hurley from day one, like I'm not gonna lie, just because I haven't heard it doesn't mean it isn't there. But I haven't heard a whisper of Dan Hurley. Have you?
Well, this could be one where they actually did a good job.
Yeah.
Of going through the process and then maybe touching base with Dan Hurley and it not getting out there to this point. And when someone
crazy in today's day
leaks it, and the Lakers are like, all right, we're ready to drop this out there and see what happens.
And it almost put a little pressure on him to make a decision now, right? All right, it's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. You can get in at 505-246-0610. Richard Pitino is going to be with us at 9 o'clock. We'll talk with the Louisville men's basketball coach about his new roster, getting them out on the court. It's it's one thing to put it all together on paper, but he's got to see them now, at least for a day, on the court. They're bigger. What did you see? You were out there yesterday, and I apologize for not being able to get out there. I just
should be sorry.
Well, sometimes your calendar loads up, and then they say, "Hey, you're available on Tuesday." I'm like, I can't do that. But it sounds like everybody was out there, and everybody I've talked to and listened to has been impressed by not only the size, but just what looks like. And it's weird to sit here and say, man, you lose House and Mashburn and JT Toppin, and they're going to be better. Maybe they will, but you shook your head a little bit. So,
well, I think there's the two biggest unanswered questions for me.
Yeah.
You see the athleticism, top to bottom's better. They don't have a number 2 ball handler, and I think shooting is still going to be a question mark because you're going to be relying on Mustafa Emzil and Philippe Borvishian to be really good shooters, which they can be.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have, it's not as simple as, this is your knockdown guard shooter. So those are the two biggest questions, which they can answer because they have the guys to go to in it. And I think the wild card is going to be Phillip. The way that Richard Pitino talked about him, that he can play sequential 1 through 3.
At 6'9".
So you have a 6'9" guy that could be your backup point guard, essentially, because the first in line.
And I think I said Jovan earlier, and I apologize.
Is Kate Dotson. That's a true freshman,
right,
coming in. So the athleticism, it jumps through the roof.
Okay.
Top to bottom.
I know he was asked about who's your second ball handler. He said True can handle the ball, Cade can handle the ball, and I'm interested. What do you think of Cade Dotson? True freshman. It's a guy who comes in at 6'2", and somewhat you feel it falls through the cracks because he's a freshman, and we watched 2 freshmen really ascend last year. And the other one is Nolan. Is the transfer from North Texas? He more just a scorer? He's got to play off the ball, or can he play on the ball if need be?
I don't see him playing a lot on the ball. He's someone you see bigger at the guard position, like he's a thick dude, so much more size than what Jalen House and Mashburn were bringing to the table. I think his role is going to be more of a slasher as opposed to a dude that's just going to sit there and shoot a bunch of 3-point shots. But again, it
which I think they needed desperately
goes into your bigger, faster, stronger across the board, which is what this team needed to be.
All right, so then there's bigger, and I know you just got to watch part of one workout. There's teams that are big, and then there's talented bigs.
Well, everyone can move. That's what stands out to me. There's not someone I look at on that team and go, well, that's a big dude who's not going to play just because he can't move.
Right.
And Nelly Jr. Joseph just looks like a beast out there. Like he just like what you expect of him coming back. He's going to be really good. You mentioned Jovan, the 6'10" freshman.
Jovan Milicevic, who's a freshman.
He looks like when did freshmen get beards and look like grown men? Like
when they hit puberty. I mean, yeah.
He's someone that looks like, is that a transfer? Has he been in D1 basketball for 3 years? Nope. So I think he's going to be really interesting at the 4 for this.
So you got right now as you sit here, and I'm don't push send. You don't have to send. But where are all the balls coming from? Where are all the minutes coming from? I'm not reading it. So do yourself a favor, don't send it. So you know somebody was thumbing that thing out right now. You know that, right? Athletic and big makes me feel good. So I've asked the question. We'll ask Richard about this. And Richard Pitino will be with us at 9. Do you have a sniper? Is your best shooter? I mean, where is it? And we saw Mustafa Amzil last year be able to be a shooter, right? And if he's your guy, I'm fine with it. I honestly don't have a problem. And if you're going to tell me my shooter, by the way, is 6'9" as opposed to 6'2", which means he can get a shot off over people, I love that. I'm okay with it. No one's more of a slasher, you said, right? And then I'm really interested to see the freshman. Because, again, as we sat here a year ago, we talked about all the transfers. I don't know that we talked much about True Washington and or JT Top.
Well, True had some hype because he was top 100 kid.
Okay.
JT definitely was the one that was just amazing. He's Mountain West Freshman of the Year.
Out of nowhere.
But I think the challenge is we're going to be like, oh, we overlooked JT, and then that pressure falls on Daniel Thomas.
It does. And it's interesting, and I know he was asked about that yesterday, and I thought Richard's answer was really good about that, to kind of take the pressure off of, again, another freshman who's 6'8", who's coming from Dallas, who committed late, but is already being compared. How did he look, first of all? Because let me give you this. Richard's answer I thought was great. Look, JT was Mountain West freshman. Like, let's not put that expectation. I know I'm paraphrasing this, but let's not put that expectation on Daniel or anybody else. JT was the interpretation is JT. That was a damn special year. Dude. That's not going to happen every year.
How did he look?
Yeah,
look exciting. He's explosive.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like the starting power forward for the Lobos.
Okay, is there a bouncy like Toppin would, right? There's so many ways to describe his game. Bouncy is one that really comes to my mind. Long, bouncy, athletic. Did you see something like that?
Every front court player.
The
only one that
I love that.
doesn't look that way is Jovan, but I think that dude, like, he's the freshman that could be your starting power forward.
Yeah.
He's 260 pounds. He can move his feet well. He has some touch, so he can be on the outside a little bit, give you that floor spacing while Nelly works the inside.
It's exciting.
Like, it's really impressive, just from top to bottom, the athleticism that they have.
Is there room for Braden Applehans to be that shooter, to be that guy to find some time?
I hope.
Yeah.
Because you know the kid can shoot.
Yeah, I mean, we're just saying,
but
you need a shooter, right?
Applehans, and I don't know how, like, what the role is, but like Quentin Webb needs to play basketball.
Yeah.
Like, he's the most athletic person on that team.
So getting off the bus, you're like, look at that dude, right?
Yes.
And I know Richard said, he can, he's working on his ball handling skills too. All right. It's your first look at it, and heck, it's June 6th today. So, I mean, we're a ways away.
So
but
development, practice time.
Yeah.
Whew, it's fair to be really excited about this roster.
I love that. You can get in on Louisville basketball at 505-246-0610. Richard Pitino is going to join us coming up at 9. We'll talk about coming up at 9. We'll talk about the roster, the practice, the process, the schedule. And we may go long on that segment, just so you know. But there's a lot there, and he addressed a lot of it yesterday, and you can get into it. When we come back, NBA Finals start today, and I mean, the WNBA stories are getting nuts. Yeah, Asia Wilson went for a record-breaking stat line last night, 36 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 steals, but she's not the story because of what happened off the court, out of the arena, getting off the damn bus at the hotel. That was a big story yesterday in the WNBA, and with Kennedy Carter, who you hadn't heard of before last Saturday. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Colts will be back at it. They're in Sacramento. Man, are they are JJ. I mean, they got a little history, I think. I think it's most, according to Sid, it is the most games they've ever been under 500. And we're in the first half. They're 17-42. Lost again last night in Sacramento. They've lost 3 in a row, 8 of 9, 11 out of 13. They're 17-42, 25 games under 500, and 20 games back of first place. Good thing they get a restart here, right? Is that why, like we're not getting guys on morning games to come on and talk? I mean, it's. I love going to the ball games. I'll still go to the ball games. I got some baseball bucks I got to spend that I bought for a sweet deal. Beautiful, but man, I was thinking this morning. I don't even know why I was thinking about this. I was thinking when we sat with Pilo. Remember when we sat with Pedro Lopez, and you talk about before the season, and this is why we could do all the preseason talk we want about Lobo basketball or Lobo football, and he loved his pitching, and he loved, this is going to be a team that mashes, and they're 17-42. They're getting run out of the gym every night, giving up historic numbers. It's something. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. You look at a game you want tickets for? I got tickets if you need them.
I always like going out to the ball.
Yeah, let me know.
Regardless,
man. I mean, I got some. We don't use enough of them. We don't use them all. You can have some. Take the family out to the ball yard. Like next week. What are you doing next? Oh, I know what you're doing next Friday. Somebody asked me about. I asked you if you're going to the awards dinner next Friday, and Dan says, "What kind of question was that, Jeff?" Of course he's going. You go into NMBA, they say, "Come grub on us." You show up with a doggy bag hidden in your pocket, especially when they're serving high-end grub, not just pizza and hot dogs. Of course, JJ. Bring a little satchel for extra food.
Free 99.
Of course he's going. All right. It's the WNBA. I just got a text. Thank goodness no WNBA talk. Actually, we got some. Kind of.
People just hate it that much.
What?
Is it because it's girls playing basketball? It can't be fun.
I don't know, man. Plenty of dudes don't like watching dudes play soccer. Right? I mean, maybe it is. Maybe. All right, here, let me look. You want me to start with something on the court? I will. I will.
I'm saying it's no different. We love the drama regardless.
Yeah. No, we talk about off-field stuff with everything, man. How many hours we talked about Dak's contract? Or Aaron Rodgers. So it's everything. But I'll give you one. Asia Wilson had an historic night last night. A historic line. She is the Las Vegas Aces star. She had 36 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. 6 steals. The Aces beat Dallas. You know what Dallas's name is? Dallas. Well, you do. Is there anybody else? The Wings. She became the first player in WNBA history to have at least 35 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 steals in the game. All right, so there you go. There's your on the court. All right. WNBA was in Congress yesterday. A congressman out of Indiana, Jim Banks, Republican of the 3rd District of Indiana, sent the WNBA a letter. Congressman Banks wants to know, JJ, how the hell the league is going to curb, quote, excessive physical targeting of specific players, end quote. Namely, Indiana's rookie, Caitlin Clark. God bless America. I got nothing else to do if I'm Congressman Clark. I don't have a fentanyl problem or an immigration problem or go down your list of problems. I got no economy to worry about. No, man. Caitlin Clark
need to know why this game is so physical.
Did you see what they did to Caitlin Clark the other day? Did you see what that Chenedy woman did?
Does he realize how embarrassing this is?
I don't think so at all. No.
Like, WNBA is like, really, dude? Caitlin Clark is the last person that wants a congressperson to be like,
come to
take it easy.
Right?
What do you think you're doing?
Thank you, Congressman. Vote for me. I went to the WNBA to protect our biggest commodity. I protected Caitlin Clark.
These women cannot be physical in sports.
Vote for me.
Unacceptable. And cover up those ankles.
All right, and then you have this, and this story, like, man, it wasn't on my card. It just wasn't on my bingo card. Kennedy Carter, again, the woman who shoulder checked Caitlin Clark in the video you've watched 1,000 times. Evidently, there was a guy trying to get at her when the team, the Chicago Sky.
Was it a congressman?
Maybe. And I think they need to look into this. Is this Congressman, what's his name? Banks. But they pulled up to their hotel in Washington, D.C. They're playing the Mystics. And there was a dude evidently with a camera and came over and tried to get at Kennedy Carter. And team security had to step in, de-escalate the encounter. Police evidently were not called, but there was video that was on the X, and then it was taken off the X. But the players were posted. One player posted, "Wow, thank God for security. My teammates being harassed at our hotel. It's insane. Couldn't even step off the bus." Someone else, this was Angel Reese, posted, "Finding our team hotel to pull with a camera as we get off the bus and put it in my teammate's face, and capital letters, harass her is nasty work. This really is out of control and needs to stop."
This is what you wanted.
100%.
You wanted the attention. You wanted to be big time. Well, guess what? What comes with that is people thinking they can do whatever they want because they are a fan of sport. Thus, they can call you names in person, call you names online, and harass you at your team hotel. Welcome to Big Time Sports.
Forward Brianna Turner, Beaver. I wasn't present for the interaction from earlier, but what occurred is not acceptable. Didn't realize that when we said grow the game, that would be interpreted as harassing players at hotels. Yes, we thankfully traveled with security, but the absurd headlines recently has certainly created an unstable environment for our safety. Be careful what you ask for, man. I'm not telling you it's okay. Please don't hear that. I'm not telling you random idiots should be approaching, harassing players, men or women, getting off a bus. That's not what I'm telling you. Be careful what you ask for. We have security, and they did a great job of de-escalating the situation, protecting us. It's still extremely weird and crosses the boundaries, meeting us right when we get off the bus. Now, if they would have been asking for autographs, it would have been okay to meet you right when you get off the bus, right? That's okay. I get it. 505-246-0610. Richard Pitino will be with us at 9 o'clock this morning on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
or surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom!
New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, if you win at one level, can you win at the next? And that's what the Lakers seem to believe. Good morning to you if you are just waking up or just joining the world. The report out this morning, Lakers are focusing on the guy for their head coach. You're like, yeah, Jeff, I know. J.J. Redick's going to be the guy. LeBron picked him. No, not according to the stories this morning. Adrian Wojnarowski, who is always right, it feels, says the Lakers are preparing a, quote, massive long-term, end quote, offer to Dan Hurley, the UConn men's basketball coach, to be the next coach. He says that the Lakers have had Hurley at the forefront of their search from the beginning of their process. They've done their due diligence. They've interviewed other candidates, but their VP and general manager, Rob Pelinka, and their governor, Jeannie Buss, are eager to formally discuss with Hurley, quote, this is Wojnarowski now, their vision of marrying his dominant program built upon both his tactical acumen and elite player development with the storied Lakers brand. That was the quote in Woj's story. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Look, I this feels right if they can pull this off. If you're looking to make if you want to make a splash in your LA, this makes a splash. There's not a great track record of college coaches going to the NBA and having tremendous success, although there are comps. Have any of them won a title? Coaches that have been college coaches that have gone to the NBA. Brad Stevens did not. Billy Donovan did not. Certainly Rick Pitino, Jim Calipari did not. There have been others who have gone back. I think of was a guy, Tim Floyd, went back and forth a little bit, right? It didn't work for him. Now, that doesn't mean it won't. And Billy Donovan has had success and is still in the NBA and considered a great coach. And you got to have players. Billy Donovan, nor any of those other guys, walked into a situation where they will have a roster that is anchored by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Right?
Track record's been a lot better recently. With Donovan and Stevens.
Yeah.
Coming into the NBA.
Yeah.
Having some success. It's
because the one before that would be Tim Floyd, right?
Well, there's been a couple. Lon Kruger.
Yeah, that's a good one. That was short run. Yeah.
2003.
Yeah.
Atlanta, no playoffs.
Yeah.
Of course, we've talked about, Rick Pitino, 97-01, no playoffs. Losing record. Calipari, 72-112. 0-3 in the postseason. The Nets, the Tim Floyd one. The Chicago Bulls. No
Fred Hoiberg.
Mike Montgomery. No playoffs. The Warriors.
Yeah, that didn't work. He went from Stanford. Fred Hoiberg went from Iowa State to the Bulls, right? Reggie Theus. That didn't work. New Mexico State.
DJ Carlissimo.
Yeah.
Leonard Hamilton.
Yeah,
No
Leonard
idea
Hamilton.
Leonard Hamilton.
Yeah. That was really quick. That was 1 year. Yeah, 1 year. Yeah. Yeah, there's not a great track record, is the point. Now, that doesn't mean it can't work, and this guy could be a different cat. And to your point, Brad Stevens worked until he went up to the front office. And Billy Donovan's still in the league. So it can work. I think this is a tremendous opportunity. So it's on the table, 505-246-0610, if you want to get in on it, and some of you do. Text line says, this is from Steve. He says, gents, the Lakers are the Aaron Rodgers of the NBA. On opening night of the NBA Finals, guess who had to have the headlines? It's when they leaked it out. Yeah. I don't think you're wrong. This is from Don. Jeff, I said it before and I'll say it again. We just talked about Little men's basketball. JT was out of practice, and Richard Pitino is going to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock. We're going to talk to him about this new roster and the schedule and all those things. But Don says, Jeff, I said it before, I'll say it again. Little men's basketball team will be better without House and Mash. They were great players. They helped rebuild the program, and Little fans should be grateful for their tenure. But it was time to bring in bigger, stronger, more athletic team. It seems like Coach has done that. Come November, we'll find out. It's from Don. Don also said, thank you, Jeff. Politicians are worthless. Sheesh. We're talking about the Indiana congressman who wrote a letter to the WNBA to protect Caitlin Clark, for crying out loud. 505-246-0610. Adolph, you on in. Good morning, Adolph. How you living?
Oh, pretty good. I may be late to the party, but so the conversation was a coach that's won both at the NBA level for the championship and the NCAA level. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, the only guy that's ever done that, to my recollection, was Larry Brown.
Did he win?
He won the title.
Yeah, no, that's great. And 100% great. And I don't know how the hell we missed that. If Kenny was sitting here, he'd tell us Larry Brown.
I think he won the title with Kansas in '88.
And he won at UCLA, right?
And then he won a title, I think, with the Pistons in 2004, if memory serves me correctly. I think.
I don't know that. Was he the coach of the Pistons? No, Chuck Daly was.
Yeah, but I thought that Larry Brown actually coached the Detroit Pistons to a championship in 2004.
Chuck Daly was way before 2004.
So
Larry Brown was the head coach.
He was, and so he won a championship there? All right. So that's a great answer.
Yeah, he won
Easy
a championship in 2004 with the Pistons and 88 with Kansas.
I don't know how the hell I missed that. No, that's a great, easy. Yeah.
I mean, I'm so old that I remember those days.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think I am too. Yeah, he won. Didn't he win? Was UCLA win a championship? NBA, you're right. NBA championship in 04. No, you're 100% right. NBA, he won the NCAA tournament in 1988. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. Kansas.
Yeah, I mean,
that's your guy.
I'm going senile, but I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And he went. Gosh, he's been Carolina as an assistant, then the Carolina Cougars of the ABA, Nuggets of the ABA, then UCLA, and this guy bounced back and forth, college to the pros, right? I mean, Larry Brown, right? Because then he went to Nuggets to UCLA, then he went to the Nets, then he went to Kansas, then he went to the Spurs, the Clippers, the Pacers, the Sixers, the Pistons, the Knicks, the Bobcats, and then he went to SMU. Yes.
Yeah, and the thing that I remember, fellows. The most famous thing was Allen Iverson's take on practice, and the coach, I believe, was Larry Brown.
Yeah, you're right. And so he took him to the Nets that year. I think. Yes. Yeah, that's the answer. I don't know how I missed that too. Yeah. No, thank you for that, because that's a great fact check. Yes.
All righty.
All right.
Hey, talk to y'all later. Have a good day.
No, you too. I mean, that's the answer, right? That's the most successful of all. You start looking at where he went and how he went back and forth, college pro. Yeah. And you know who loves him is Kenny Thomas. He's a big Larry Brown fan. But most guys who played for Larry Brown love Larry Brown. See, now he's 83 years old. He'll be 84 in September. he was coaching relatively recently, right? He was the SMU coach. I guess 2016 is not that far away, but in 2022, he was an advisor to Penny at Memphis. He was on their bench, on their staff. Yeah, that's the right answer. No, I appreciate that. 505-246-0610. 888-922-0610. Bourne says, you asked the softball question of the year. Let me hit it out of the stands for you, Jeff. You asked if Braden Applehans has a spot in the rotation. The answer is the chances are about as good as Bourne cracking the lineup. Why do you think that? Why wouldn't Braden Applehans have a spot, especially if he could shoot? He's 6'6", 6'7". He's long. By every account, he's got great skills. I mean, I can't tell you I've seen a bunch of him play. I'm not sure. I'm with you on that yet. I'm not there yet. Gophers in. Should the opening drive be concerned about Tiger not being in major shape? Not really. Jeff, photos from Vegas came out yesterday, and he didn't look ready for Pinehurst, which the OD had been talking about 168 hours from now. Yeah, you guys, Tiger moves the needle, but it's not all that moves the needle. I think golf's okay, and it's not all about Tiger anymore. Even though the U.S. Open's coming up here in a couple weeks. I just think that's where we are. All right, when we come back, there was a great showdown in Major League Baseball between the best player in the game and, I don't know, JJ, is he the most exciting young prospect in the game? One of them. Pitcher versus hitter. I got you, but you got me. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
This report is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
NBA final start tonight. Betting public is on the Mavericks. 80% approximately of the bets placed in sports books this week have been on the Mavericks, the underdogs. Celtics are minus 225 favorites at ESPN Bet and most places. Thursday, they're listed at the Mavs are plus 180 underdogs in the series. Celtics favored by 6.5 tonight. Surprising that all 80% is a chunk of money, dude.
Not at all.
I mean, that's where my money would be, too.
Talking about the best player in this series, everyone is gravitating to Luka Doncic. Falling back in love with Kyrie Irving. So it's an easy underdog to bet on.
Get that tonight. First game, and look forward to talking about it tomorrow. Kenny Thomas will be with us tomorrow as well. Richard Pitino due to be with us at 9 o'clock. We'll talk Lobo basketball with him. First workouts of the summer with this new look Lobo basketball squad, and we'll hear what he has to say. This was fascinating, and I didn't see it live. I did see the highlights of it. You got the best player in baseball. Shohei's that, right? Are we arguing that?
No, there's no argument to be had.
Paul Skeens is as exciting as of a young prospect as there is. The pitcher from LSU who's with the Pirates now, correct?
Began his collegiate career at Air Force.
And then ended it at LSU. Yeah. So you had Skeens on the mound versus Shohei yesterday. And it was the 5th start in the career of Paul Skeens. And he starts out, he struck out Mookie Betts on 4 pitches. And he gets Ohtani. And dude, I don't know how sustainable this is. I hope it is because it's just fascinating. First pitch, 101 plus miles per hour, swinging and miss. Second pitch, took something off of it, 100 miles an hour. Swing and a miss, foul tip. Third pitch, JJ, 100.8 miles an hour, high heat. Come and get it. And he threw it right by Ohtani. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Just here, man. Here's my best. Come hit it. So Ohtani came up in the 3rd inning. Pirates were up 7-0 at that point. They beat the Dodgers 10. Skeens went to the fastball again. The 3-2 pitch to Ohtani. What's he going to throw? It's heat. And Ohtani turned it around 415 feet to straightaway center. And the best part to me was Skeens' reaction. Because he'd been throwing fastballs by Ohtani for the majority of the first 2 at-bats. And he went fastball again, and you knew Ohtani was sitting dead red, returned it, and Skeens just smiled because he knew as soon as the ball hit the bat that it was gone. It was like, yeah, he got it. Did you see his reaction when he hit it? Because to me, that was the best part of the whole damn thing.
What a battle.
It was awesome.
To adjust and see Shohei going at it with the young rookie. Like, these are big moments. Got to capitalize on them when you can. And that's a fantastic highlight from Major League Baseball.
It was terrific. If you haven't seen it, find it, because it was spectacular. It really was. You get, look, you're going to hear a lot about Paul Skeens. If you haven't, you're going to hear a lot about him. But that was just a beautiful moment. By the way,
Pirates won.
Yeah, the Pirates won, and former Aggie Nick Gonzalez, 2 for 3 with 4 RBI in that game for the Pirates second baseman. All right, 505-246-0610. That's where we are. You can come in, 505-246-0610. Emails this morning, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. I got a text on the Apple Hunts question. I asked earlier, and I'm not going to ask Richard Pitino about every player, so we're probably not going to get into this. JJ was at practice yesterday for Louisville basketball, and he said, the two things that, do they have a second ball handler, and do they have a pure shooter, a sniper? Maybe it's on seal. And I said, can Apple Hunts get some time? This is on the text line. It says, on the Apple Hunts question, the negative reactions / responses are from Mr. Bold Prediction Person, who wants to put themselves in the position to say, I told you so. Braden's going to contribute to this team. Players aren't the only ones who choose to go into the transfer portal. Coaches can also choose for them to begin the transfer portal. He's in their plans, and Quentin Webb is obviously in their plans too. We'll see. And the rotation is only going to be 7 or 8 players, and there's 16 out. All right, 14, because I know the 2 walk-ons aren't going to play, and Daraj is probably not going to play. Right? So you probably got 8 guys battling for 13 spots in a rotation right now. There'll be an injury here and there. Does that sound about legit? Who's like when we sat here last year? Who do you think True Washington took time from? It was Mushila. Probably was the guy who suffered playing time that we thought was going to get more playing time than maybe he did. As we sat at this time last year and said, okay, look at the roster, look at the transfers in. I think Mushila was the guy that maybe we thought would contribute more than he did, and we didn't think Toppin nor True would contribute the minutes. Right? Is that relatively accurate?
Yes, it is.
Somebody's going to emerge. Somebody's going to fall a little bit less than what you think. And I just think what you know about most of these guys, I think Atiki plays. He loves Jovan, obviously. You don't think Atiki does?
Not a lot.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, I think he'll be a direct defensive backup for Nelly Jr. Joseph.
Yeah.
He's not good with the ball.
Okay. I've heard that. I haven't seen it. I think
he'll be a good backup.
Give me 4 minutes.
Nelly needs a break. We need defense and rebounding. Nelly's
in foul trouble.
He's long. It's just like, and when you're trying to, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing the kid, but I'm saying his role is just going to be, I think, a straight defensive.
Okay. That's not bashing.
Backup, as opposed to, he's going to come in and do what Nelly does, and he's not.
Okay. I'm down with that. And by the way, I need that.
Yeah, it's fine.
I need that. Last year that was Sebastian Forsling, right? And Richard never. And
I think he can
felt comfortable going
move a little bit better
than Forsling. Yeah. I think you had a body in Sebastian last year. Everybody loves Sebastian Forsling. I don't think anybody's going to sit here and tell you he was ready to come in and contribute at the level that you needed him to contribute, right?
And I think it is going to be interesting because I think your best 2 options at the power forward position are freshmen. And so
Jovan being one of them.
Because I think Mustafa is going to see time at the 3.
I think that's his spot
in this.
I think that's his spot.
More 3 than 4.
What about Phillip?
Same. I think he could be the backup 3 and backup shooting guard at this point.
All right. So you're going to have a lot of interchangeable stuff too, which I think
and that was
beautiful.
One of the things that Pitino made known early in practice when he was talking with his team. He's like, don't get hung up on where you're at. Like, you have to be interchangeable. Like, just don't get caught up. Well, I'm playing the 4-3. No, you're playing basketball right now. And I'm going to move you guys around the court because that's the way the game is played.
Don't you think so much of the game has evolved that way, where you may be in as the 1 or you may be in as the 3, but you're going to handle the ball. You're going to play some of the
because it's everyone wants to switch. Everyone wants to find those matchups. So you got to be able to handle those moments.
You got to be able to guard different positions. You got to be able to play offensively against different defenders. No, I think basketball has become so tremendously, and at the pro level certainly, but at this level, the college level, interchangeable position wise. That's an interesting topic for Richard. The evolution of the interchangeable parts. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's like you have at this point in time to play high level basketball, you have to be a big that can move.
Yes. Yeah. All right, I want to get a little NFL stuff. 505-246-0610. That's how to get to us. 505-246-0610 is the Sports Animals phone line. It is our text line as well. When we come back, is he ready to take off now? 6th season since he was the number 1 overall pick. He's paid like a star. Is he a star? And is this the time? This is my sneaky team this year. I like him a lot. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. we would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind.
Sure, optional camps. So a lot of guys are like optioning to not go to camp. In the NFL, you're getting your first glimpse because we love the NFL, and I don't know. Maybe you don't want to watch other stuff, or you're just jonesing, or maybe you don't care. But a lot of people are looking at the camps and who's there and who's not. And JT, I think I told you my sneaky team this year is Cardinals. Does that mean I think they're going to win the Super Bowl? I do not believe they will win the Super Bowl. But I think that's a team that really competes for a playoff spot and is better than people think. And Kyler Murray's going into his 6th season. He was the number 1 overall pick, and he spoke yesterday for the first time since the last game of last season. He's kind of nearing the end of his first real off season with his new head coach, Jonathan Gannon. He's got an offensive coordinator in Drew Petzing, and they spent a lot of last year rehabbing from that torn ACL. And this is, I don't know where we slot Kyler Murray, right? He doesn't come up in any of the conversations when you talk about the top 10. But they're also a team that when you say, well, what are they doing at quarterback, you figure them to be set at quarterback, right? This is like this purgatory of quarterback land. Quote from Kyler yesterday. Going into year 6, I'm excited. Hell yeah, I'm excited. I feel good. Just to be healthy again is a blessing. Yes, I believe in what we can do. Confidence and understanding where to go with the ball and knowing what the coaches are doing, because I've been in the system a year. When you feel like that, the sky is the limit. That was part of his quote. It's Jason, we talk about these quarterback situations almost daily, right? We go through who's in a good spot, who's in a not good spot. And they're almost kind of this team you leave on the side because Kyler hit the league with a storm, got paid, got hurt. Their team's been bad. They changed coaches. They've been relatively irrelevant. what are they? Who is he?
I don't think Kyler Murray's ever going to be an elite quarterback in the league.
Okay.
I think he's someone that on his best days, he's like QB 10.
Okay.
Like he's a winning quarterback. I think he can get a team back to the playoffs. As you're saying, confident in him. I don't think you look at Kyler Murray and go, well, he can't do these things. It's, coming back from a knee, it's going to take some time, but you still hope he can have his athleticism, because you look at his second year in 2020, 819 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns, and it went down from there. And that was before the knee injury. Like, he still has to be a guy that can get outside the pocket. I don't think there's a lot of questions with him being able to win in the pocket, even with his size. And I think when you look at what Arizona did, feels like they got the coaching staff right last year. He was able to come back, get some confidence into the season, full off season, now going to win with a new number one wide receiver. Like, that's a team that you like the trajectory, but I don't know where they pick up enough wins to be a playoff team.
Well, they're going to beat some teams.
The first 3 games of the season at Buffalo, versus the Rams, versus the Lions.
I look just at the NFC, or I'm sorry, at the AFC, and I know he's in the NFC. I just haven't gone through the whole thing yet. It just as I'm making a little list. It's almost split. Would I take Kyler Murray over what this team has? And there's some questions. Like in the AFC, I would take him over, and this is the first one's the biggest. Would you take him over Tua? See, you're thinking about it. And
it's not an immediate yes.
It's right. Otherwise, I think I would take him over what New England's got, Cleveland's got, Pittsburgh's got, Tennessee's got, Denver's got, and Vegas has, right? You would take Kyler Murray.
Yes.
Probably wouldn't take him over what Buffalo has.
Nope.
The Jets. Nope. Jets is interesting because it's a one-year thing, right? Baltimore, Cincinnati, Houston, Jacksonville, Kansas City, and the Chargers. And then the question mark in the AFC to me is Indianapolis. I don't know. Would you take him over Dak? Probably not.
I wouldn't.
You would take him over what the Giants have. You wouldn't take him over what the Eagles have. You don't know if you would take him over what the Commanders have, right? You would probably not take him over what the Bears have. You wouldn't take him over what the Lions have. You'd take him over Jordan Love?
No.
J.J. McCarthy? Right now you would, yeah. Kirk Cousins?
No.
Okay. Bryce Young, you would. Derek Carr, you would. Baker?
I think Baker and Kyler are very...
Yeah.
You don't... Like, it feels like, Kyler Murray has a high chance. I think Kyler and Baker are
yeah.
Like, Kyler and Baker are like... Well, I keep saying are like, I apologize.
Your Oklahoma people are going, yeah. What?
Well, but guys that you're never going to feel like, this is top 5. But it's like, you can win. You can get yourself in the playoffs. You can win a playoff game and be on the verge.
Yep.
With that team.
All right. And Baker was there. Would you take him over Matthew Stafford? No.
No.
Brock Purdy? No. You would take him over what Seattle's got. So it's like he's right in the middle, dude. He is like right, like literally 15, between 14 and 16. He's league median quarterback, right? Which, by the way, isn't horrible. But everybody wants Patrick Mahomes. And so this is a big year. I think...
So you look at last year.
Yeah.
The Packers got in 9-8, and then you had Seattle 9-8, the Saints 9-8. So 9 to 10 wins.
The Saints get in?
No, but they were a 9-8 team.
Okay.
They lost the division to Tampa Bay, who won it at 9-8. Right. So that's even to get the 7th. Can Arizona win 9 games?
Yeah, look, they're going to win some games on here that you don't expect them to win. I mean, I agree with you.
Seattle this season.
I kind of think I do, just because I
probably split with the Rams.
I'm faded on Geno. I think by mid-season, Sam Howell may be the quarterback there. Now, I love Seattle's weapons offensively. I'm not as sold on. They made a coaching change, man. I love me some Pete Carroll.
If Arizona can survive early,
yeah, then they're
at Buffalo, at San Francisco, at Green Bay, at Miami in the first half of the season.
Yeah. And they got the Rams and the Lions at home. I mean, they got a hell of a schedule. Like they got a hell of a schedule. They're gonna have to beat people. We'll see. I like what they did draft wise. I believe in that young coach. I don't know, man. I could be out of my mind. Then you could be sitting here saying, "Look, man, they're 2-10, and you're an idiot." No, I'm an idiot. I'm okay with that. I've been an idiot before. But the Kyler Murray thing to me is one of the biggest wild cards. I mean, everything's a wild card at quarterback. And last year we went into this and said Deshaun Watson's the biggest wild card. And the crazy part about it is he didn't play and they made the playoffs, right? Because Joe freaking Flacco came and saved Cleveland. Where'd you see that coming from? I look at some of these. I think there's some big development questions. Young quarterbacks, you have in Indianapolis and you have it in Tennessee and you have it in Minnesota, and certainly in Washington, right? The two wild card situations with veteran quarterbacks to me. Number one is Arizona. Number two is the Giants. Like, if you draft a rookie, you always have a wild card. How's Caleb Williams going to be? And Anthony Richardson, we still haven't got an answer because he was hurt. We think you've got it figured out in Houston. But yeah, all the rookies who are going to start are wild cards. But to me, the veteran wild card situations, and let me give you one other. And I think I'm wrong. Well, I'm in on Jordan Love, and everybody's in on Jordan Love. And there was a conversation about, do you pay him now or do you pay him? Mike Tannenbaum went on a radio station in Wisconsin yesterday and said that if you don't pay Jordan Love now, he's going to come back next year and the conversation is going to start at the sixes per year, like 60 something per year. And I like Jordan Love, and I think he's their guy. You kind of have a half a year sample size on him being a good NFL quarterback, right?
But
no, I agree.
You lean into the playoff performance
and the progress that he made, and he got better. I'm with you.
There's almost like, even if you pay him his extension now, do you get him like a little bit cheaper?
You get him a little bit cheaper
if he is that guy.
But if he's not, and there is still the chance he's not, dude. He had 7 good games and he played well in the playoffs. And that's why I'm in. I think he figured it out. He got better. He feels like a leader. He like everything points to yep. But you do look at the first part of that season and go, whoa. But
yeah, but it was his first time starting.
And that's where I want to go. I want to go there. But is your sample size big enough to give that dude $55 million a year?
Almost beat the 49ers. So yes.
And I'll argue he should have. And we all will, right? I mean, okay. I think you're right.
It's even if there's a little bit of the unknown still, it's more affordable.
Yeah.
To do it sooner rather than later at the quarterback position.
And everybody is on it. I can't find someone who says no on Jordan. Which, by the way, I love, because I really like him. And I mean, my interactions with him when we had him at the bowl game, where I really, really like Jordan. I'm rooting hard, and I don't root hard for a lot of people. There's this one little piece of me that goes, man, you're giving him a lot of money on a 7 to 8 game sample size. But it makes sense because you figure it's progression, and you love what he is in the building, right?
And they've done a good job of drafting and having a lot of young skill position players around him. They do not have a wide receiver that's on the verge of getting $100 million.
No,
so they were able to pay a little bit more for a running back in Josh Jacobs to bring him in, because you have young wide receivers that aren't going to break the bank, and the skill position players are set, and they have a really high upside in Green Bay.
I love their roster offensively. No, I do. And I don't want this to sound like I'm doubting Jordan Love. I'm not. If I'm sitting in that chair, there's a little bit of queasiness on I'm backing it up and I'm turning it over to him for 5-6 years and committing all that money on a 7-8 game sample size. But I want to believe what I saw, and I want to believe that's the trend. Richard Pitino is going to be with us at 9 o'clock. We're talking Lobo Hoops with the Lobo coach. We're going to talk about the schedule, the roster, and kind of the process. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Hour.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the Frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Later today, your postseason, your college football bowl schedule will come out. I believe it's due to be released at 12:30, but yesterday, the college football playoff announced the time for its games, and it's going to go up against the NFL a little bit. So it was the college football playoff will start on Friday, December 20th. Now, this is the first year that the playoff has expanded to 12 teams, and those first 4 games, remember, the first 4 seeds will get a bye, and those first 4 games will be held at on-campus sites. So you will get a game on Friday night, the 20th, that'll go at, I believe, 6 o'clock our time. And then on Saturday, you're going to get 3 games, 2 on TNT and 1 on ABC. And they're going to go up against the NFL. Quarterfinals will be New Year's Eve and New Year's Day in bowl games. And then the final, the championship, well, the semifinals on Thursday, January 9th and Friday the 10th. And then the championship, college football playoff championship, will be Monday, January 20th. And that will be in Atlanta. This is going to be interesting, JJ. The whole, and obviously I've been in on the intricacies of scheduling bowl games and playoffs and everything this year, and the calendar made it a little tougher because the third Saturday in December is typically when bowl season has started. Last year was the 16th. This year it's the 21st. So it makes the pre-Christmas window way, way tighter. And it's going to be interesting. I think you'll see a lot of different things when the bowl schedule comes out later today. But the NFL going up in the afternoon against Houston versus Kansas City and Baltimore, Pittsburgh is going to be really interesting to see how college football does. Because that's Mahomes against C.J. Stroud. Baltimore, Pittsburgh is always a big one. But they had nowhere else to go, and college football says, you know what, we got a product that stands by itself, and we're going to see how it does.
Yeah, at some point in time, you're going to have to put things on the schedule at the same time at that point. Unless like you want to make everything a weekday and then get back and you say, see how it goes. It's going to be a fantastic day to be home and have split screen ability.
It's going to be insane. Honestly, it's going to be like, what do you watch on the 21st? You're going to have, let's just say I got Michigan at Alabama, or do I watch Houston, Kansas City? I watch Mahomes versus CJ Stroud. Like
the answer is both.
I'm working.
If one gets blown out,
I'm working that day.
Yeah. If one gets blown out, then you go to something else. But it's back and forth. It's split screen. It's multi-view. I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah, this will be interesting. There's going to be so many changes for us who watch football this year. The college football playoff is going to be so totally different, and we're going to be watching games in a different realm. And then even just watching the NFL, kickoffs are going to be different. The hip drop tackle, you're going to see 15-yard penalties all the time. It'll be interesting. Well, but basketball is going to look different too with all the new players. Summer workouts have begun. Their head basketball coach is Richard Pitino, and he is due to join us next. Looking forward to the conversation. Going to talk to him about his team, his size, the scheduling process, and just the whole process overall. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman.
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Even if they're not that proud of us.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
What will they look like? Bigger, different. But I think you are well aware, you've lived here for, 10 minutes. It's always basketball season in Albuquerque and in New Mexico. It's always college basketball season around here because you love Lobos so much, and with the return to prominence and the success and all the progress that the Lobo basketball team has made over the last few years under head coach Richard Pitino, the interest continues to grow. And so in many parts of the country, you say, all right, they've opened summer workouts, and it might get a blurb in the paper somewhere, maybe, if there's a paper. But you're all talking about it because you care and you've been following it so much. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Lobo men's basketball has started summer workouts, and it's a different look. And I think you're going to be, well, just by judging by your reaction, I know you're excited about it. Recruiting has been what it is, and college athletics is just going to be new each year. I don't care. Pick your team, pick your program, pick your place. You're going to look at new rosters. The head basketball coach at the University of New Mexico is Richard Pitino. He joins us on the opening drive this morning. Good morning, Richard. How you living?
Doing great. Walking around the pit here, getting some steps in, and excited for, the basketball season somewhat around the corner, which is kind of crazy to think, but still a couple months away. But excited about the roster we put together.
I think it's always basketball season around here. I know you've learned that. I think that's part of what you love about this place so much. You're out recruiting and building a roster and dealing with the portal and the ins and the outs. And it had to be nice to get on the floor and coach basketball and see what you have. And in that vein, your initial reactions, I know it's one day, but is it what you expected it to be after one day and you feel good about it?
Yeah, I mean, recruiting is kind of like a weird word because it's totally substantially changed. And I think evaluating is so very, very important. Luckily we have resources, synergy, where you can pull up so much film and you can see a lot on all these transfers. And even high school kids, you can watch AAU tournaments on the computer as well. So I feel really, really good about the job we did of evaluating the right players to kind of complement this roster. The hard part certainly is, a kid like JT who at the last hour, decides to move on, which more power to him. I mean, it's certainly his right, but you've got to kind of figure out what you have to complement and everything. And I honestly feel really good. I felt like the trajectory of the program's been terrific, and I don't know why we can't improve off of last year. Although we had a great year, I'm excited to put ourselves back in a position to go win a championship.
Did the JT thing catch you by surprise?
Well, yes and no. I certainly understood with the current climate that he was going to get opportunities way bigger than we could provide for him. If I had it my way, I wish he would have given us a couple of weeks before, but he doesn't really need to give us that. He's got to do what's best for him, and there's never a perfect timing by any means. So my whole thing is this is going to happen a lot. This is no different than being at a really good mid-major and a coach winning and moving on for more money or a better opportunity, and everybody gets mad at him. Like, my whole thing is get mad if they lose and leave you. don't get mad. Like, JT had a great year. He helped us go to the NCAA tournament. He helped us win a conference tournament championship. So would we have loved him to stay? Yes. But I certainly understand why he did it, and I'll be rooting for him.
He's Richard Pitino, Lobo men's basketball coach, with us on the Sports Animal.
Now, Richard, you mentioned the ability to watch film on all these players, but how much are you able to just learn when you finally do get to see them in person and the little things that you can talk to them about just positioning of, hey, this is where I want you to catch the basketball. This is how I want you to finish. Just how much more when you finally get with them do you learn about them?
Oh, a lot, and you'll learn even more, in the fall and as we get closer to the season and we play exhibition games, and then you really see it. Because right now, I always laugh. We have these meetings, and, the assistants will say, we've got gym rats and we've got guys with great attitudes. I'm like, fellas, if we're not saying that right now, we've got some serious issues. So, no adversity has hit, but you get to work with them. You get to kind of see their basketball acumen. You see their competitiveness, their drive, just how much they love the game. The thing about this team, more so than probably last year, is we legitimately have 16 players, and all 16 think they can play. And obviously I can't do that. So competition is huge, and it's going to be better for them in the long run. So, I'm really excited about it. I mean, I think we worked really, really hard to get the right pieces in play. They all seem like high character guys. And, I think when you taste success like we did last year, that's got to be the motivating factor more than anything like it. Guys, we can do it at New Mexico, and let's really build off it.
And Richard, you had touched on the fact that it's easier to have conversations with teams when you can bring something to the table. That's a good record, net ranking, all that stuff. But what's it still like when you're out there trying to put a schedule together in this era when there's so many MTE stuff, neutral court games, and then you still need X amount of home games?
Well, you brought up the first thing. I think MTE was very, very important. When we first got here, we weren't really attractive to a lot of MTEs. And, I thought by year 3, we should be able to, get involved in those national MTEs more so than Lobo Invitational or whatever. No knock on those things. And, where we're in with some Power 5, Power 4 teams. And obviously we're able to do that. We're working very, very hard to put ourselves in a position to get those moving forward for next year and beyond. So that was great. I think the thing we've all talked about is the challenge of getting a quality home and home in the pit. Well, we got VCU, who's been to a Final Four and is legit a powerhouse in their own right. So we feel great about that. New Mexico State is always a great draw for our fans. But then we also wanted to do things, from a net ranking standpoint, although I don't know if I ever want to say net ranking again because it seems like that doesn't matter as much. But to get St. John's and to play in the world's most famous arena, amazing. To get UCLA in Las Vegas. So, I'm not a huge hyperbole guy, but this could be the toughest non-conference schedule that's ever been put together in this program.
You used the word brand a lot yesterday, and I think it's an important word, right? You're playing brands in St. John's and UCLA, and going to there's no bigger brand in arenas than the Garden, but you want New Mexico to be a brand, and it takes time, right? You talked about how San Diego State built their brand over years. And I don't know, are they the model in this league? But how important is building a brand? Because when you're out recruiting, I got to believe that's a big deal.
It's everything. Now, the number one thing that builds a brand is going to the NCAA tournament, is winning a championship, whether it's regular, cutting down those nets. That is by far, we have that end goal in mind because only 19% of college basketball makes the NCAA tournament. So, in order to do that, I would say there's 2 things. You got to win, right? Go to the NCAA tournament. You got to sell tickets, which we do as well. That enhances your brand. And now all of a sudden you're able to be attractive to other teams. And I said this yesterday, and I've got so much respect for what San Diego State has done. We should be in the conversation with them. Certainly San Diego State has had way more sustained success. Coach Alford obviously had great success. Coaches before did as well. But we have been very, very inconsistent in that. Turnovers of coaches 3-4 years or whatever. Like, we have the fan base. We have the facility. We've got beautiful weather. We've got, a city with no professional sports teams. So, and people care about Lobo basketball. So that is the goal. The goal is to kind of put our foot down and say, like, hey, this is where we are. Are we a Power 5? Maybe not in some of the financial resources all the time, but these kids on a daily basis are treated like that. I think that experience is certainly that as well.
Richard Pitino's with us a few more minutes, Lobo men's basketball coach. How have you evolved, you and your staff, with the process? And the process feels like any of us involved in college athletics, any of us who make our living in college athletics have had to pivot almost daily. And it's not done. I mean, this thing continues to spin. Do you have a lot of conscious conversations with your staff about whether it's, and you talked about recruiting, portal, NIL, everything that continues to redefine itself on a weekly basis?
100%. Yeah. I mean, we had a conversation this morning. Normally you are so accustomed to, this time of year going to some AAU tournaments and really, really diving in and recruiting some high school kids hard. I think we've been really good at being selective of who we go after in the high school ranks. We've certainly understood that NIL is a major factor, and we're gonna continue to, if the rules stay the same, try to increase all of those resources in there, because anyone who says it's not a factor, it's like saying you would take a job and not ask what the salary is. Sure. Like, let's not be silly. You know what I mean? It's so very, very important. And I think it's my responsibility and a lot of people's responsibility to get out there in the community and raise as much as we possibly can. But I think you just got to understand and embrace it's 1-year contracts unless something changes. You've got to, and that's not a horrible thing. Sometimes, like in the pros, you get a 4 or 5 year guy who's got a contract and they may lose motivation. Like, our players' motivation should never be higher right now, because they have opportunities to, even if they don't stay here. You look at what JT Toppin did from an under-recruited guy. He comes to us 1 year, and now he's probably one of the highest paid players in college basketball. Great for him. And he helped the University of New Mexico as well. So your mindset's got to shift. You got to help these guys continue to increase their value as much as you can while keeping the main goal, which is winning at a high level. And we've been able to do that so far.
Now, Richard, it used to be back in the day, the conversation was, well, a college coach wouldn't want to deal with these egos. Why would they go to the NBA with those players? Well, now it might be an easier job in the NBA, and there's rumors Dan Hurley potentially could be a Lakers target. What do you think of that transition from the college game to NBA?
I don't know if easier is the right word. The problem with college right now is nobody knows where it's going, and it is absolute chaos. Now, will it settle in, and will there be more rules? And I would assume so at some point. Now, is that going to happen right away? I don't know. The problem for college coaches, and we're not very sympathetic figures, so I understand that, but we're still going to be judged by wins and losses throughout this whole insanity and chaos. I remember when the pandemic hit, and I'm sitting there going, there's no way. We're playing in front of fans. We're testing these guys every morning. There's no way they're going to judge wins and losses. Sure enough, I got fired at the end of the year. So, it really doesn't matter. If you play the games, you're expected to win them. It's just there's way more law and order in the NBA right now than there is in college. But I still certainly prefer the college ranks more than the pros, just because, they are definitely pro athletes at the college level. But I still love the age of 18, 19. They're trying to figure out what type of people they're being and players they're going to become and so on. I like being a part of that. But if you're a guy like Dan Hurley right now, of course you've got to look at it. It's way different than maybe when my dad left Kentucky to go to the Celtics, because it is absolute chaos in college basketball, and nobody knows where it's going to all end up. There's going to be jobs that were really, really good that are going to be bad, and there's going to be jobs that were bad that are going to become good. So our whole world is kind of rocked right now. We're all just trying to hold on for dear life.
Yeah. You know, one thing I really respect about what you've done with this program is at the end of the year, you've identified problems and fixed them. I remember, last year you said we got to get better defensively. You did. This year you said we just got to get bigger. You did. Do you have two things? And JJ brought this up earlier. Do you have a shooter? Like, do you got a sniper? And it could be Mustafa. It could be somebody that's going to develop and a second ball handler.
The ball handling thing doesn't concern me as much as, you can always tell a tone when you have press conferences, and I got asked that a couple times yesterday. That does not concern me as much as we'll see about shooting for sure. We have not had a problem over the last 2 years of scoring points. That hasn't really been an issue. We've been 1 or 2 in the conference of scoring every single year. I think we will continue with the system that we run, be able to score in a variety of ways. We actually, although we were really, really good at scoring the basketball the last 2 years, we didn't shoot a lot of threes. Like, that's not my preference by any means. But I think I've, humbly speaking, been able to identify and figure out how to score in a variety of ways. So I think we'll be able to score. Shooting the basketball will be somewhat, interesting. I think Mustafa can shoot the ball. Braden obviously can. I think Jovan, who we brought in, can really, really shoot. There's a variety of them. So, there's an unknown there because you have so many new players. But I think we'll be able to figure it out. We're going to work our butts off over the summer and the fall from a skill development standpoint to get them to understand that, because you watch the NBA, those guys make shots.
Yeah. How many different languages are spoken in that locker room? Do you know? I think you got guys from
seven
countries.
We're like the United Nations. I mean, we've got 6 foreign players. It's actually cool to see that you got all these people from so many different parts of the world, and not getting 2 Serbians with Jovan and Filip is pretty cool as well. They're really, really close. It's a different deal, but the European and the foreign game right now is very, very desirable, and I think you see some of those guys and see why they were attractive to us.
Yeah, I want to learn some words in different languages. I mean, that would see. That's where I would like. What's the language in Guinea or Tanzania? I want to know, and I love listening to the dialect. It'll be fun. The games will be fun too. Enjoy it. I always appreciate the conversation. Have a great summer. We'll catch up with you at some point soon. But thanks for spending some time.
You got it. Thank you, guys.
All right, be well. He is Richard Pitino. 7 different countries represented. That's got. I mean, probably at least 7 languages.
Dude, you look around the athletic department right now.
It's terrific.
It is a melting pot.
Yeah. I think he answered most of your questions, Joe. From the scheduling to where you are, and there's a lot I want to unpack. And he brought up a name in there that I think it was good that he brought up the name. Answered a couple of questions that you've been asking this morning. It's the opening drive. I want to respond to what Richard Pitino had to say next. I'm 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The Jim Rome Show. Save it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
The size, it feels like what he saw in video corresponds to what he sees in person. The fact that, and I didn't ask him the question directly, but people are certainly more receptive. And I guess, I'll ask him this another day. The difference in the response, I know I used to ask Jerry Kill this, right? When your program gets better, how is the response when you make a recruiting call, when you make a recruiting visit, right?
And it feels like he kind of said that in his own right. The brand becoming what it is, the brand getting better, getting back to the NCAA tournament, has opened the door to your question, which was schedule, right? It's made it much more responsive in terms of against whom we can play, and recruiting. And success matters. It just flat out does. He alluded to the COVID year. Oh, surely. I mean, we're testing these kids every day. We're not going to be judged on wins and losses. You got fired. Yeah. So, I think I'm good with look. First of all, I like Richards. I've told you this many times. I like his demeanor. I like how he handles things. He doesn't get too high, too low. I think he's pretty cerebral. His demeanor, his aura, for lack of a better term, I think is really, really good for this job, and it's been good for this program. Then I get this one, and I'll tell you, I'll give you the answer, Maurice. What exactly has Dickie P done here? He says he's finished 10th, 6th, and 6th, and sometimes in Vegas you bust and can't afford nosebleed seats for Wayne Newton. Sometimes you hit the Royal Flush and you splurge for the Wayne Newton suites and overpriced umbrella drinks. But you can't bank on that every season. What's he done? I mean, with all due respect, and so you're right. He's finished 10th, 6th, and tied for 6th. So that also is true. And I'll repeat the answer again. He's got you back to the NCAA tournament. He's won you a league conference championship. He has got you ranked again. He has gotten that pit sold out again. He has gotten this community excited about it again. I mean, to your point,
it's almost like that. What has he done? It's like, tell me you don't know college basketball without telling me you don't know college basketball. Who cares where you finish in your conference rankings if you have a conference that's sending multiple teams to NCAA tournament? It doesn't matter if you finish 5th or 4th.
Yeah, I think this fan base cares a little where
you care, but did that stop them from going to the NCAA?
Going to the NCAA, yeah.
It would have this year, but I don't think we were all at that point of thinking, well, this is an NCAA tournament team.
Mm-hmm. We weren't I think the only people who didn't think that was the NCAA tournament committee. No, honestly, every pundit, every prognosticator, every one of these so-called experts had New Mexico in the tournament.
And he has people excited. He has people to the point where they built an NIL collective. People are donating to that. They have money to pay players in an era where you have to pay players to be successful. So what has he done? He's put the Lobos back on the map. They weren't on the map.
100%. Yeah. And Maurice, if you can't see that, I don't know why. Yeah, to your point.
Dude, so this is 15, 17, 17, 19, 14, 19.
What are those numbers?
Those are the win totals before.
Say them again.
So it was.
This is the years before he got here.
So after, Craig Neal's first season, they had that team.
Yep.
Went to the NCAA tournament. And then it was 15, 17, 17, 19, 14, 19, COVID year. So, and then Pitino comes in. Yeah, he only.
So that was 7 years of the highest was 15. Oh, you said 119.
119. 19 and 15. Not even when they were 12 and 6 in conference.
So 7 years of
they weren't sniffing the NCAA tournament that year.
Of insignificance.
All right, year one, post-COVID, everything going down. You're 13 and 19. Immediately after that, you're 22 and 12. Started the season undefeated.
Went to the end.
You're in the top 25. You're competing on a national level in recruiting once again. You have people building a collective after a 13-win season because they believe in what the coach and the staff is doing. And then you come back and you make the NCAA tournament.
When collectives weren't even.
So tell me how that's not a good trajectory.
And then back to the NCAA tournament. I think Maurice is responding to the flow of one. Because I don't think there's a lot of people who feel that.
There's no one other than Maurice that feels that way.
Yeah. All right. So we spent way too much time talking.
But sometimes you got to squash the flow.
Well, but he asked the question, right? I mean, you asked the question. I'll answer the question. I just, what has he done? I for crying out loud. By the way, 17.
Look at in the amount of people that showed up yesterday to cover a practice is a reflection of how hungry this community is.
Yeah, but I don't think people see that
for information.
But it was a sold out press conference. So.
People see that because the amount of people that posted pictures of, hey, look, here's a practice, and then the retweets and the reactions just from a practice picture.
Practice. Talk about practice.
And then Jeff Grammer puts it out there, and then just people just asking, what's the starting lineup? What's this guy look like? There's the reason that there was more people at a press conference yesterday for the start of basketball practice because of the reaction from this community.
Yeah, because people care. And 17 of your 18 league games were on national television. CBS Sports Network, Fox Sports, or CBS. 17 of your 18 league games were on national TV. I'm not sure Oklahoma can say that. You know what I mean? Or, I mean, maybe they can. I don't think so, though. You know, I don't think St. John's can say that. So that's an easy answer. What's he done? But I think there's excitement around it. I think what you heard, and by the way, you brought up Braden Appelhans. You know, I asked who can shoot. I think that was your concern, your two concerns. And he said yesterday, I'm not concerned about ball handling. We're going to be fine. I think he's right.
Yeah, because
I think he's right.
Donovan's going to play as many minutes as he can handle.
Right. No, I think he's right. The shooting, though, he brought up Mustafa. Braden Appelhans was the name that he brought up, not me, right? I think there's a role on it. I think that might be one of your surprise guys this year.
I'm really interested to see how the rotation plays out, because it's always going to get tighter. And I think that's your challenge as a coach, is finding minutes that make sense. You know, minutes that make sense for Braden Appelhans, minutes that make sense for Quentin Webb on this squad.
All right, 505-246-0610. Come on in. Love to hear your thoughts on what you heard from Richard Pitino. If you missed it, it'll be wherever you get podcasts. Go to our website later, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive. Hey, the number's growing, and it continues to grow. International Protective Service has hundreds and hundreds of homeowners and business owners who trust them to install alarms and cameras and keep eyes on those homes and businesses and respond quickly. If the alarm goes off, they respond with armed officers. The reality is police aren't coming for hours. They come at all. In most cases, IPS is there within 7 minutes or less. You're not always home. Don't be a target. There's nothing worse than coming home to finding you've been the victim of a break. You've noticed IPS officers at Walmarts, Targets, retail outlets. They're making a major difference for them, and they can help you as well. I've used IPS for years now. They've given my family peace of mind when I travel, and you know I travel a bit. They are there on a regular basis, making sure my property is safe. IPS has a team watching video cameras. They monitor alarms around the clock. They secure your home. Cameras are known to discourage criminal activity. Look, your home's supposed to be a place of security. If someone breaks in, it's devastating to that sense of security, and you know homes that are protected are far less likely to become targeted by bad guys. Here's their number, 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live in.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program.
All right, if you're just joining us, you're just kind of joining the world this morning, there's a big report out there. Dan Hurley, the head basketball coach at the University of Connecticut, two-time defending NCAA champions, is the main target of the Lakers search. And Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN reported this morning that the Lakers are set to offer what he is calling a massive long-term offer to bring Hurley to the Lakers. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Richard Pitino was just with us, the Lobo coach. JJ, you asked him a little about that, and I thought Richard's answer was really interesting because, you know, he said college athletes are pro athletes now. Let's not make any bones about it. But Richard says, you know, he likes that age. He likes coaching. But he said, you know, the NBA, there's more stability. He said, I wouldn't say easier, but he said there's certainly more stability. And did he say, what did he say? It's lawless in the, I was trying to remember the exact term.
It's the way to describe it.
In college sports, where at least the NBA, there's a structure. You know what it is. You sign a 4 or 5 year deal, where in college, it's every year's a 1 year deal, and they're coming and going, and there's no rules. I've been thinking about this a lot this morning. We've talked about it from the Lakers side. Is this right? Is he the right coach? And how many college coaches have made the move? And in fact, somebody on told me that I'm trying to find whether it was on the text line that Pitino didn't go from college to pro. He was on Hubie Brown's staff in the NBA. Yeah, but as a head coach, he did. A lot of guys started as assistants in the NBA, but as a head coach, it was college. Not a lot. There's not been a lot of success. Billy Donovan's still in the league. He's coach of the Chicago Bulls, and he's been a good coach in the NBA and won 2 championships in Florida. Larry Brown certainly had success, but you know, there's Patinos and Caliparis and Tim Floyds and guys Lon Krugers, who were really, 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 really good college coaches, but it didn't work in the NBA. This seems like a different cat. Is it the right move for him? We haven't really thought about, you know, from that. And if he does, where's UConn going?
They could still go wherever they want.
Right? Because they are the premier program, right? 2-time defending champion kind of makes you the premier program.
They could make a call to whoever they want. It doesn't matter that it's June 6th and basketball practice is just starting.
Where would you go? What interests you? Who's is it? Where are you going? It's going to be interesting. But is it the right time for Dan Hurley? And I would suggest, without knowing him, and he's made it very clear, his wife loves it. He's a Northeast guy. That's where he grew up. That's the Hurley home. They are East Coast guys. LA is enticing. LA is a different place, but LA's glamour, and I don't know, man, what's enough? You know,
it's the starting point. It's easy to say it doesn't work. All those other coaches went to terrible franchises at the time. Like
I'm trying to remember the situation. Pitino went to the Celtics.
Like, not at this level where you're starting with 2 franchise players.
Yeah, I mean, you got LeBron James, you got
Hawks and Wizards and Nets.
No, I know. And what's the number? Let me just. I don't know what a massive long-term deal is. What if it's $12 million at 5 years guarantee? That's $60 million, right?
Yeah.
You say, honey, we're 50.
Like Mike Brown just got $8.5 million from Sacramento.
Right.
So you'd be thinking 10.
Well, I'm thinking north of that if it's massive. So what if you say, honey, let's go do this for a few, you know, it's 5, we're 50 years old. You know, if we hate it, we got $60 million and we come home. Because I think he's going to have to convince his wife a little bit. Sounds like she really loves where she is. And that's a big piece of it. But for him, if you're going to go to the NBA, I don't know. You're going to give me LeBron James and Anthony Davis to start? Yeah, I'm listening. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Good day, sir.
Hey, well, good morning. I just wanted to give my NBA Finals prediction coming from an individual that thought that Denver was going to roll through this year. So I own that.
Yeah.
I think we all thought Denver was going to roll through the NBA Finals, but except for JJ, who's a big – he was actually very objective. So, I think Game 1 obviously sets the tone early in the series. Let me say this about the rosters. I think that Boston probably has a better overall roster, but I trust Kyrie and Luka Doncic far more than I trust Tatum and Brown. And I think Brown might actually be a better go-to player than Tatum for the Celtics. But if it came down to, a tight game, having to score in the half-court offense, late in the shot clock, I just trust Luka and Kyrie more. I think that Boston's going to struggle with the high pick and roll. I think they're going to expose it early and go to it repeatedly, and then that might force Boston into some lineup changes. Overall, if Dallas can somehow squeak out a win in Game 1, because they've been off for freaking 10 days, I think it's probably a 6-game series with the Mavericks winning. I think if they lose tonight, I believe the series is going to go 7. I think we're going to get a great series. But I'm picking the Mavericks in 6. That's my gut feeling. What's your guys' take?
I'm leaning Mavericks in 6, and that's kind of because I got a hard time believing they win Game 7 in Boston Garden. So I think if they win it, I think they got to win it in 6.
I completely agree. So anyway, it's good to hear you guys. You guys get great content as always, and I appreciate you letting me share my thoughts. Have a great day.
Nice to see you. Yeah, have you made a call yet?
Celtics. 6.
6.
So I think if it goes 7, Dallas wins.
Do you? So you think Dallas wins it in Boston if it goes 7? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I got a golf story, a big golf story. This is coming out of the Daily Mail in the UK. JJ, it says the PGA Tour and Live Golf set to meet in New York tomorrow with Tiger Woods attending. It says Live Golf, PGA Tour golf representatives are all going to sit down in person to try to strike a deal to end this power struggle. Today is 1 year to the day. Was it 1 year ago that we all sat here and said, whoa, what the hell happened? 1 year ago today that the PGA Tour and Live announced that they would try to merge. Doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but that's what the Daily Mail's reporting.
What have we been doing?
I don't. Seriously, nothing. Like a year ago, and then we all literally said, well, all right, what does it all mean? The New York Times is reporting that key figures from both sides are going to meet Friday in New York. They both caution that a breakthrough is far from imminent. Woods will be there. Tiger will be there, joined by John Henry, the Liverpool FC and Boston Red Sox owner who's on the PGA Transition Committee. Rory McIlroy will not be there, but he will be joining the call remotely. He's playing in the Memorial, which is in Muirfield. He's got a 9:55 a.m. Ohio time, tea time. So Adam Scott evidently is in on this. I don't know what it's going to mean, man. I don't. But the fact that they're actually the two sides are going to sit down at a table and a year later and say, "Hey, guys, remember a year ago we said we're going and nothing's happened. And what do you say we get together and have lunch?" I'm going to tell you, I think nothing comes out of it. Well, I mean, that's just me. My guess is, yeah, that's cute. They all sat down and they couldn't figure it out. Wrap it up. Everything you got to know as you go through your Thursday. Top headlines. It's still time for your correspondence at area code 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Boomer Esiason with the Sports Minute. Hallelujah, folks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy.
All right, what do you got to know as you go through your day? There's a big story this morning coming out of Adrian Wojnarowski, a Woj bomb, as they call it, that the Lakers are preparing to offer Dan Hurley, quote, a massive long-term contract to be the head coach of the Lakers. He is the head coach at the University of Connecticut. Dan Hurley is not, I've seen nothing coming out of Dan Hurley's camp. And UConn's like, the Lobos trying to keep JT Toppin. We spoke with Richard Pitino this morning. If you missed that or want to hear it again, it's available wherever you get podcasts. It'll be up on sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive. It'll be there. But he said a lot of things. JJ, one of the things that he said, and we both kind of looked at each other when we were talking about JT Toppin, and I asked him, "Were you surprised by that? Did it catch you by surprise?" And he says, "Yes and no. The timing of it." But he says you can't blame him. And he said he might be one of the highest paid players in college basketball. We both kind of looked at each other like, I don't know what the number is. And we know the great Osabor, the Utah State former player who went to Washington, is reportedly making $2 million a year. So I have no idea where that would put JT Toppin if he in fact is one of the highest paid players in college basketball. I was hearing he's making in the area of $750,000 in NIL at Texas Tech this coming year. I don't think that was another part of the Bettino conversation. He says, he kind of spun it into it's like when a coach leaves and you don't get mad at a coach for leaving for success. Get mad at it if he leaves when you're losing. It's the same thing. You can't get mad at a player for having success, and it was really bizarre that whole conversation. I don't think there's a lot of Lobo fan who's mad at JT. I think Lobo fan is kind of bummed with the system and just the reality that it's going to be hard to keep a player like that. Have you heard any Lobo fans saying bleep that guy and any of that? Some didn't like the comment
in the moment
when he said, "I want to play on a bigger stage."
Like, I think there's some that once they leave, they're done. Like, they're not like, "I'm going to follow you."
Yeah, I get that.
There's just that element of being a fan, but with anything, it's you're on the next one. You're looking at this roster, excited about the future for the Lobos.
Yeah, you'll watch him and you'll see a Tech game on a Monday night and with Fran Fraschilla, and JT Toppin scored 12 points or 22 points or whatever. I haven't heard a lot of anger at him. I've heard disappointment that he's leaving, and that's totally understandable. Upset with the system and where UNM is in the hierarchy of the whole, and what they're able to do and what they're not able. And if there's any upset, it was they didn't like the comment he wants to play on a bigger stage. What do you mean bigger stage? We're the Pit. We're the biggest damn stage there, right? I've heard that. All right, NBA Finals go tonight. 6.5 points. Celtics are favored over the Mavericks. Game 1 in Boston. You get that tonight. Habtom Samuel, Lobo freshman, NCAA champion. He won the 10,000 meters yesterday at the NCAA Outdoor Track and Field Championships in Eugene. He fell. He kind of got caught up in a pile up. What do you call it? There was a couple of runners got caught, tied up, and they went down, and he got clipped and said he hurt his leg, and he went down. Got up and won the damn race. Pretty amazing. All right, 505-246-0610. Marty, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's good, Marty?
Hey, guys, I know you're up against it. We don't really know. I mean, Toppin is going to arguably tougher competition. So, grass isn't always greener on the other side. His numbers could go down. I mean, you just don't know all that, right?
That's right.
He's going to be facing tougher competition, supposedly, in the Big 12. So we just don't know. I know Texas Tech, the argument is it a football school or is it a basketball school? I would say, given the recent history, they're probably more of a basketball school. I know that they're known for football, but they have made, they were recently in the Final.
Yes, they were.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
yeah.
they absolutely were.
We'll see. I mean, I think the expectations now are higher for the kid. Can he handle it? He's going to be in a tougher environment, supposedly. So, like I said, the grass isn't, we wish him the best, but when there is an opportunity for one person to go somewhere else, there's going to be an opportunity for another to come. So you got to look at it that way.
I think it's the right way to look at it. Thanks, Marty. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
I think it's the right way to look at it. Yeah, you don't know. All right, email. Les says, if you're the Lakers, Jeffy, why in the world would you give an unknown a 5-year deal? I'd give him a 2-year contract to start. He won't take it. That's why. If this is the guy you want, then you're going to give him, he's not leaving UConn for a 2-year deal. What would you give him? $5 million a year when Mike Brown's making $8 million? I mean, if that's the guy you want, you're gonna have to pay for it. That's why. Am I missing something here?
No, you're not.
All right. I mean, you came to him and said, "Here's a 2-year deal. Leave UConn," but he's not going. Well, we're the Lakers. Okay, good. Go do it. We had a little conversation on Jordan Love earlier. John says, loving me some Love. Jeff, I'm a Packer fan my whole life. And I completely believe in Mr. Love. While the contracts are enormous compared to where they were when both Rodgers and Favre was there, it's the same type of thing, and I completely trust that Love will be an upper echelon quarterback for a long time in the league. I think it's awesome and hard to believe that for the third time in a row, we've struck gold with a young quarterback, but I'm firmly convinced we have. And I think that Gutekunst and the organization does too. Looking forward to another 15 years of quarterback consistency in Green Bay. Just hoping for one more Super Bowl. It's from John. If they hit on this guy, if he's what he appears to be.
From week 11 on last season, in the regular season.
He was terrific.
How terrific do you think he was?
I mean, what context do you want?
Number 1 in touchdowns.
Yeah.
Number 1 in passing yards. 18-1 touchdown to interception ratio.
And got him one step away from the end.
And that was from a week 11 into the season. He was blitzed at the highest rate.
What was
of any
he before that?
In the NFL. So he had his first half of the season of, okay, this is what it's like. And then boom.
Well, that's what I want to believe, because his numbers before that were certainly not what you're telling me. Right? I want to believe that too. Thanks to Richard Pitino. He was with us today. If you want to hear it again or miss what Richard had to say, head on over to our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive. It's there, wherever it is you get your podcast. Kenny Thomas tomorrow. Jim Rome Show is next. Heard with Colin Coward is after that. 2 Men On is in at 4 o'clock. Isotopes at Sacramento this evening. And then we're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, great job on the TV side. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
Mitch, there's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. Upstairs goes the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch. And she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one sent on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her!